All right. Welcome to the first episode of the Stephen and Afia podcast. I'm Stephen.
And
Here-
and I'm a fire.
yeah, in case anybody's not sure. Um, today, what we're a week out from the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs. That was a fun game for anybody either rooting for the Eagles or if you're like me, you were rooting against the Chiefs. Um, No, I actually, when I was a kid, I was an Eagles fan when they had Ricky Waters.
All right. And I think
Um,
I think a lot of people can go with that sentiment too, of where there's a lot of people just rooting against the Chiefs. They're just ready to. They're just kind of
uh,
sick of
uh,
them and ready to see
well,
them lose finally.
they had so many games. I don't know how they went 15-1 this season. They had so many games that they should have lost and somehow didn't. The two examples. Me, I'm a Raiders fan. The second Raiders and Chiefs game, uh, they wound up winning the game because the Raiders, for whatever reason, decided to try to squeeze one more play in before kicking a field goal without any timeouts left, and then wound up getting what was it? They muffed the snap and wound up being a fumble, and they lost the ball in the last play of the game.
I
Uh,
remember that. that will
and
that
I
will
was
be a
like,
store. That will be a
typical
store one for
Raider way to
Raiders
lose.
fans forever.
Painful. All
Oh
they had to
man.
do was kick a field goal, and they were not. It wasn't like it was going to be a super long field goal already. They're trying to squeeze in a couple more yards for whatever reason, but stupid call. Anyways, then there's the the Chiefs Broncos game, where the Chiefs blocked a field goal at the last second to win the game. A game that the Broncos should have won, which not as a Raiders fan, I'm not a huge Broncos fan either. So that game could have just gone to a tie, and I would have been fine with that. But whatever.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know if
And
they let that happen.
yeah, like I mean, and yeah, Steven and I, like, we've loved football all of our life, and we want to do this podcast, like, to touch on a lot of things, sports, music, art, all the awesome things in this beautiful life that we are blessed to live with, and also. Let's we want to start it off. Take a quick moment for prayer, just to pray for anyone listening to us. So, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Amen. Heavenly
Um,
Father, we thank you for blessing us with this opportunity to, just have this time to have fun together and enjoy this podcast. May the anyone who wants to listen just get some good entertainment and some good fun, but also some knowledge, some insight. Maybe learn something or think or just think about something that they haven't thought about in a while, or think about something in a new perspective. So may our listeners be open to that, and their eyes and their hearts be opened up to Jesus Christ, who is the Lord and Savior of us all, and blesses us all with these good things, with these good conversation, with sports, with arts, with entertainment, with all the amazing things that we have in this life. We pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Yeah,
All right.
I do at least one prayer a day with my dad for breakfast. Sometimes do another one for dinner. Um, not the normal like um.
By the way, I have these ginger beers here. I think you should try this. It's non-alcoholic. This one is called Bundaberg. It's made in Australia. It's a,
Huh.
a family-owned company, and yeah, it's pretty good.
Because there are ginger beers that do have alcohol in them. So yeah, just
Yeah,
double check that for for you.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
No,
I
yeah.
am.
This is a non-alcoholic one. It's just
Mm,
and it actually has ginger root in it, which is what
okay,
you want, because I
so it's
found.
ginger root beer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I've found ginger beers
Okay.
that actually don't have any ginger. It's just like ginger flavoring, and
Uh,
they're okay. It's like kind of like a sweet treat, but Yeah, you need the ginger in it for the nutritional value.
I've been doing the oh man, what's that stuff called? It's a probiotic drink.
Let's see if
You
I can
brought
get
the
this. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get this hat on with the headphones.
hat.
Oh, okay. There we go. Now we're representing correctly.
All
Since
right.
my team is the Super Bowl champions.
Should be a fun episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia coming up with that for that one.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
They did
That
a
will
good
be
job on the
fun.
last one. I think it's a two-part on the last Super Bowl the Eagles won.
Yeah. A lot of my friends say that I remind them of Charlie. I'm the wild card.
You're a little smarter than he is, but
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. And dude, we scored more than three touchdowns, man.
Eagles, Eagles.
Eagles!
Oh man,
Man, what a
yeah, I
whooping
was
they
I was
put on
hoping for a
Kansas City.
shutout for a little bit. Sorry.
I said, what a whooping they put on Kansas City.
Oh man, Kansas City looked like they forgot they had a game that day or something.
Yeah, it was the Eagles clinic. It was like this is how you completely demolish a team. take notes as we
Oh
just
man,
dismantle like one of the best offenses in the league. I can't,
I
man.
th-
The fact
this
that
is this
yeah,
is
go
not the
ahead.
best. This is not the best Chiefs team to make it to the Super Bowl though. I mean, they've had much better weapons on offense in the past. If you look at how they played this season, it's more like not a lot of big plays. They just go for those 5, 6, 7 yards play and just slowly march downfield and demoralize other teams by getting one first down after another first down after another first down until they get a touchdown. And,
Yeah,
and then they just
yeah,
kill clock and do it again 12, 14 play drives over and over again. And they're good at it. They're
yeah,
really
yeah.
good at it, but it wasn't like when they had Tyreek Hill on the team or anything like that. Um,
Well, the other thing is they didn't really have as difficult a season this year. The teams that they played up until the Super Bowl, it wasn't the same pedigree as the last couple of years.
mhm.
They really had to go through a proving ground then. And whereas like this year, they were playing comeback against teams that they should have beat by a lot.
Yeah. You know who I'm really happy for with that win is Saquon Barkley.
He's the man, dude. Like he can't, like he just showed
He
like
wasn't gonna do it with the Giants, so it's like to see a talent like that, another talent like that to just keep trying and trying with the team that was never gonna make is you know
right.
it's hard to watch.
Yeah,
There's plenty of those that happen, but then to see somebody get put on the right team and go straight to the Super Bowl their very next season. Yeah,
well,
and
we just
nearly break the record too in rushing yards for a season.
well,
Yeah,
well
get it.
he had the record for like season and playoff was it rushing
Oh,
yards combined,
combined.
like yeah, for if you include season and playoff,
Okay.
he got the record for that. And
Well,
yeah, it was
I
it
mean,
was,
I
it was
guess
nice to
that's
see.
something, but
Well, I was gonna say, like we don't want a repeat of like what happened to Barry Sanders, of where you just have like the best running back in the league, and
uh,
he's just doing everything, but his team still can't win. You know?
yeah. Well, there's plenty of those. Plenty. Yeah. Um, the Detroit Lions are kind of notorious for that. You could also throw Megatron in that mix. Um,
Yeah.
you know, as far as amazing players that never got to win a championship, but then also with the Lions, you can look at the quarterback. What's the name that went to the Rams? Was it Bradford or Stafford? I get them all mixed up.
That went to the Rams.
Yeah, the Lions and the Rams traded the quarterback straight up,
The
and the Rams wound up winning the Super Bowl like a season or two right after that.
uh yeah, that was a few years ago, eh?
Yeah, but they're still there, still playing. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that speaking of Lions players that wound up going somewhere else and actually,
Oh,
winning a Super Bowl.
gotcha. Yeah.
Oh man, I was actually rooting for the Lions these playoffs, but they kind of dropped the ball against Washington, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
turn the ball
They
over
had,
5 times, you're not going to win.
yeah, they had a solid squad, but yeah, they just I don't know. They're not used to being in the playoffs anymore.
Or
They're like
something. Yeah.
it's like because they had a squad this year, and they got there and they're like, what do we do?
Yeah. Now what?
Yeah, they like they forgot what to do once they get to the playoffs because that's when it's all on the table.
Well, they lost their offensive and defensive coordinators, if I'm not mistaken, to head coaching jobs. So hopefully they can come back strong next year. But
Yeah,
yeah, it
we'll
would be
see.
nice to see a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl win a Super Bowl. I don't have much hope for like Cleveland doing that. Or let's see who
But,
else is
but yeah, who I do want to give respect to is Jalen Hurts, man. Like
for sure.
that guy, he he does so much of being like like this unsung hero kind of like because he's so humble, so just like shows up, does the job. Like he doesn't always have like the passing yards or the rushing yards that all the announcers and pundits want him to have. But he does
Hmm.
what he needs to manage the game right to win the game. Like
Hmm.
he's such an unselfish player.
Yep. Yep. And then you look at the Eagles' offense; they do have a lot of weapons. Not beyond Saquon Barkley.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Devonta Smith is no joke. That he had a sick touchdown.
yes, he
Um,
did.
and of course AJ Brown just always shows up.
Hmm. Yeah, excellent pickup. Was that last year or this offseason that they picked up AJ Brown? Either way, they got him from the Titans, right? Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, that was an excellent acquisition.
yeah.
Um,
They it's like they just they picked up all the things they needed. Coach Nick, like he talks about how that football is the ultimate team sport, and like and it just shows with his players, like with their ethics on and off the field, their mentality to the game. Man, it's football's such a beautiful sport, and they play it like everything. Like there's plays where like Saquon Barkley made the perfect block in order to give Hurts like that another second to make the open throw,
mhm,
and just there's plays where one defensive tackle like pushed uh, the offensive tackle into Mahomes and caused the interception. It's just
mhm.
like watching all those pieces connect and how they play is just amazing.
No, I try to explain it to people who aren't into football, like why I find football fascinating. And yeah, when you have 11 players, I mean everybody's got a specific job, but everybody's got to do their specific job correctly in order for the play to work. And everybody's got to know all the plays and where they're supposed to be on each given play. But to have 11 players all work in unison to make one thing happen is it's extremely complicated.
Yeah,
And
really complicated, and it takes a lot of discipline and just like you know you can't fake that. Like you need to have that dedication and that teamwork.
mhm, definitely. But yeah, uh, that was not what I expected. I was hoping that the Eagles would gut out a win, but they completely dominated from the very get go. So uh,
Yeah,
that was satisfying for me. I know a lot of people that uh, watch just the Super Bowl and no other football for the rest of the year were probably disappointed in that game. And there's a lot of those. Was it 128 million people watched the Super Bowl this year? I think something like that. And yeah, a lot of them just watch it just either for a good game, or some people just watch it for the commercials.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't know. It's like the one time a year that people watch anything for the commercials. But like
Well, because
normally we're like, I'm so sick of all these goddamn commercials. Pardon my French. I'm still working on it.
well, it's become it's become a national pastime,
Mhm.
where it that's the beautiful thing. It's such a unifying moment for the country where it reflects the country in many ways where yeah, like some people are just like watching for the funny commercials, uh some people are watching for the football, some people are just watching because hey, my friends and family are here for a Super Bowl party, and
Yeah.
it's just a reason to celebrate and
Yeah.
get together.
Everybody else was
um,
doing it.
yeah, and then yeah, some people watch just for the halftime show and it's like
Right. So it was the first time that they had a rapper on the halftime show.
yeah. And as a rapper myself, I haven't I got out of the industry, out of the recording. I haven't recorded anything in a while, but
Yeah.
music will always be a part of my life. That's my part of my upbringing, and always something that will be a great passion of mine. And
Mhm.
uh, to see someone like a Kendrick Lamar, who's not like your uh, typical pop star, but someone who still made it mainstream, and he did it with
He's not your
very
typical
very
rapper either.
yeah, very very
He's a very unique
very
style.
yeah, very dynamic rhyme schemes, very lyrical, very, uh, very just talent, so multifaceted. There's so much I could say in regards to Kendrick Lamar.
Mhm.
He's amazing.
Yeah, well, he's won a lot of awards already. Probably got more coming. Um,
Yeah, and and it's funny too because I was watching through. I had mentioned about it on my Facebook because some of the guys on the Daily Wire were like, "Oh, like we can't understand this guy. It's just gibberish. Like I don't know what he's saying." But it was really
it's kind of
funny
harder.
because yeah, and then people like 'cause their fans just kind of co-sign with it. They're like, "Yeah, we can understand him." But it's like, what he had the number one song of the year with "Not Like Us," and then I teach English.
It's
I
got to
have
be
a
the
lot.
highest rated diss song ever made, right?
Yeah, I have second language learners from other countries where they're learning English, and my students apparently can understand poetry in English better than those guys, because I have someone in Spain, someone in Germany who I talked about it with, someone in China, and
Uh,
they were all talking about like my student in Spain was talking about how it was very original, how it was different than the other time that he performed, with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Eminem, and
mhm.
how it was different from his last performance in the Super Bowl, and he was making comparisons between them. My student from Germany talked about how he really appreciated the theme of the show, and he didn't even know Kendrick Lamar before the halftime show. After the halftime show, he went and followed him on Apple Music.
That's
so
awesome.
it's like, so it's like, yeah, he's making new fans in Germany, like who are learning English as a second language, and it's like,
Right,
what we have people here who apparently can understand him. It's like yeah, either you guys are doing this for political reasons or you're really stupid, because my students can pick this up.
right. It was refreshing not to hear so much about Taylor Swift for a Chiefs game as well. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they did bring her up a couple of times, but I've got nothing against Taylor Swift, but that's not what I tune into a football game for. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Well, I'm a Swifty. You know, I've been to her concerts, and
You
my
would.
wife's a Swifty. My wife's a Swifty too. So, you know, I've got nothing but love for the girl, and I know she's gonna shake it off. You know, but when it's 24-0
uh,
at the half, there's not much to that you can say with her there, right?
right. Like, oh, she's still here. I thought she might have left.
Yeah. And apparently a lot of people came to see Kendrick as I heard like a lot of people left after the halftime show, like
Oh
at the
wow.
Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, it was pretty obvious where the game was going. You can only have so many uh, 24 or 25 point comebacks in the Super Bowl. Uh,
Mhm.
you probably remember the Patriots coming back against the Falcons after being down. What was it, 28-3, a few years back?
Did Was it 28-3?
I'm pretty sure it was 28-3, and they came back and won that game.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I wonder if anybody put major money down on the Patriots at like halftime or something, and just just laughed at everybody.
right. Whoever did is like, yeah, they probably didn't make it out. They probably died laughing. You know, they're
They
going
can,
to the
get to
bank
the
and they're
bank.
like, yeah, they're like I can't believe it.
Just find them on the side of the road with a bunch of money on them. They're almost like just right down the street from the bank.
Yeah, but
Oh man.
for the people you know who supposedly uh you know didn't get the halftime show, I wanted to break it down with you, and so like let's
Let's do
go
it.
through here clip by clip. I'll bring it up, and yeah, let's talk about it. Um, yeah, one. Here we go. Sure. All right, here it is. Can you see this? Good.
Yep.
All right. Let's rock and roll. Just yeah, we'll go through a little bit, and like whenever you want to, just jump in with some commentary, and like
Got
let's go through
YouTube
this.
and YouTube.
Yeah, let's go through this awesome show.
The National Football League welcomes you to the Apple Music Super Bowl 59 halftime show.
Salutations! It's your Uncle Sam. Great American game.
My Gemini twin back powering up. No more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bare hard truth. Etiquette speak with a vision and tongue. Predicate this.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. It's just ad. But yeah, so while that's loading up, what was your initial thoughts to this intro here?
Oh man, I was well, one of my first thoughts was imagining if you know, like some like southern white people from like 200 years ago saw that we had a black guy portraying Uncle Sam, and um,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Drawing back historically, right? Here we have Uncle Sam, and you know, I think many people know about the political cartoons, right? The caricatures
we're
with
going
how
over in my history class right now that they were super racist with it when they portrayed black people back then. So that was part of what made me laugh about it. Is like, kind of throwing it back at anybody who had still had those old school ideas.
Yeah, and it's like taking the history back, because before, where you had uh where you had, yeah, Uncle Sam used for propaganda to be like, hey, these slaves are bad, they're no good people. To now, okay, yeah, no, no, we'll like, yeah, Uncle Sam, like, we love this country, right? Like, look at, black people contributed to this country. Like, no, like Uncle Sam's actually ours, and it's almost like, black people reclaiming the history of, like the White House was built by slaves, the train tracks to connect the unions was built by slaves, right?
Mhm.
And so now here we have Uncle Sam, um, portrayed by a black man, and who's and by the way, I got to add a detail. Respects to Samuel L. Jackson. He was actually one of the pallbearers. One of the ushers at Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral. So he's someone who's been very relevant, very relevant, and very forward in the civil rights movement from
Mhm.
since back then to when black people didn't have the rights that they have today, to now still using his artistry and his acting talent to bring that to the culture.
For sure. Yeah, I told you you're gonna probably teach me something today. I did not know that about Samuel L. Jackson. So, yeah, I did not know he was one of the pallbearers for Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah. Let's continue with it.
Sure.
Your hearts right now, like a power lift with Olympians too. Carrying various darts right now. I deserve this like tiramisu. We go body for body. I hand you a body. I'm proud of your better masseuse. Really don't
Off the clown car.
Body if I got the creep out the room. You would not get the picture
Sure.
if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre. Would not have a soul even if I told you to stand next to Johnny and Q.
So here he's going, like, you see the red, white, and blue jumping out of his GNX car. And
Hmm.
while this is going on, he's making all these cultural references, like talking about taking you to the Louvre, like, and he's starting this out. This is a never before released track from Kendrick, right? So he starts it out with something no one has heard, specifically for the Super Bowl, and so he's right here. He's gearing the show to show people, like, yeah, like, no, this isn't your typical halftime show. This is
Hmm.
something new. Like, I'm taking you to the Louvre, right? I'm bringing you some culture here.
Yeah. Every once in a while I hear a Kendrick Lamar song that I just really, really like, and I'll download that one, but I don't keep up with them um, all the time. So I wasn't sure if this was a song that was new or not. I didn't realize that. So that does add a layer to it for sure.
Started with nothing but government cheese, but now I can seize the government too. Remember the foods, them color was tan and brown, but now the hundred and blue. Remember I said I'm the greatest back when you debated the number one and number two. Topic was always hilarious to me. You carried them to me, I brought out the
All right, so that's the quick intro there, right? From government cheese to now seeing what the government do, like, the traditional rags to riches story, right?
Right.
And and talking about the number two, of course, how the whole you know it's great. He never uses the battle with Drake. Of course, everyone knows it because that was the, like, song of the year. But, like, he doesn't direct it there yet, and he talks about, like, the number two because, like, it was the whole, like, that, right? Forget the uh was it forget the big three. It's just big me, right?
Mhm.
And here he is gunning for number two and number one, number two. uh and what what is it at the Super Bowl, right? You have 1 and 2, like in this great, beautiful sport of football, right? Where your gut, it's a contact sport, right? You have to
Mhm.
take people head on to get that number one spot. And what
Right.
did he just had one of the greatest rap beefs, and he's talking about that competition of taking that number one spot and bringing it here at the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
All right, let's
The revolution
transition.
about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
You caught that? Revolution's about to be televised.
You got the something. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Is that what he said?
Yeah, the right time, but the wrong guy. What would you take that to mean?
Hmm. Picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Well, like he's saying, obviously you shouldn't have picked on him, but uh,
Mhm.
with this, but what is he talking about? As far as he picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing of the artistry too, right? Of course, there's what the artist is portraying, but then it's also like it's open for people to have the wrong and right interpretations, and sometimes they're multi-layered where there could be multiple interpretations. But here,
Hmm.
right, you have right he starts this off like showing you where the show is going, right? The revolution will not be televised. Of course, that's the famous line from the poem by Gil Scott Heron, right?
Hmm.
If you listen to Gil Scott Heron talk about that poem, like his reference with it is like that, right? The revolution isn't going to be televised because like maybe it will be recorded, but it's first going to come through the mind, right? It's first going to be something spiritual. There's a shift here, right? And he's going to go in later to talk about those cultural lines. But yeah,
Hmm.
keep that in mind of the right place but the wrong guy, right? Like oh like like oh yeah, you picked the right place, like the Super Bowl, right? Everybody wants to tune into the Super Bowl, but oh, you got the wrong guy. Kendrick, he's not gonna do just the thing that you want him to do, right? And there's gonna be that kind of play here between him and Uncle Sam. There's gonna be a little dialogue kind of back and forth throughout this
And
whole piece.
and I know, speaking of Kendrick Lamar not doing what you want him to do, I know a lot of his fans were really hoping that he would do the song, not "They're Not Like Us," right?
Hmm.
And he does touch on it later in here, but he doesn't do he's only on that song for maybe like 20 seconds.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do the whole song because it's just a 13-minute set list, but and
Of course,
he had to
but
get things in and deliver the
he
whole message he wanted to get across.
yeah, and he teased on it a little bit
Right,
before he actually did it. So um
right.
but yeah, let's get back into it.
Someone better squabble.
Looking for the athlete, hot key. Keep a horn on me, that's a mock T.I.P. Ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off in my feet. I don't, baby, rocking it. Quit pro with the woke, cause I'm on the flow, let me know if you clocking it. Brody won't go, but I know that he pockets it. There was one pictures don't sell till I sell it. Went down young, we some whole other politics. So what? And I'm missing a lot of what? Don't hit him, he got kids, for my apologies. Get him, child, give him back the mails with the spirit off. We outside, boy, about to kill him off. Flash, fat, break her off. Tell me why you boys rap if you fiction. Tell me why you boys fair if it's killing. Ain't that, can I get a truck? No, it's boom, boom.
All right, so here on this one, a lot of things already happening, right? So he starts out with Squabble Up, um, and he gets into that one, right? And as this song starts, right, the flag divides, right? You have the red, white, and blue coming out, and
Mhm.
he's talking about Squabble Up, right? And if you know colloquial language, right, around like along around that area where I grew up, like Squabble Up, like all right, we throwing hands, like we getting
Right.
down. He just said, the revolution not televised. So like he's showing again here, like, okay, I could just come out here and do my hits, but like no, like I'm fighting something, right?
Mhm.
I'm squabbing up right now, and and it's showing the disunity of the country, right? The flag is splitting apart, uh, and there's a lot of disunity in our country, right? There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of people attacking one another, right? The red separated from the blue, and you're gonna see how like he's gonna make allusions with the red and the blue to the Crips and the Bloods, and it just like and there's a song where he also refers to um was it what did he call it, like Democrats, or he gave them another name.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he
Like I said, I don't follow him that closely. Every once in a while, I hear a song that I really like from of his, and I'll download it, keep it. Um, this does remind me though of commercial that came out during the Super Bowl with Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady facing each other and telling each other they hate him. I hate you because of this. And the other one going, I hate you because of that. I hate you because of this. I hate you because of that. And then it being the commercial against hate, and Snoop Dogg ending it with, I hate that we had to make a commercial about this. Like it's got that bad. But
yeah.
I don't know why that popped into my head when you're talking about that and yeah, he could have just played his hit songs and made the show whatever he wanted to. It was obvious watching the halftime show that he had put a lot of thought into it, but I didn't put a lot of thought into what his message was. I was just like, oh yeah, he actually, like, he's actually trying to get a point across here. I got that vibe, but I didn't, like I said, I wasn't trying to figure out what his message was. So this is interesting to go over through the mind of an artist.
Yeah, and yeah, but yeah, so like I was saying, you see here, right, the disunity, like you mentioned, like with the oh man, now we even need a commercial from Snoop Dogg, right? And of course, and, and,
I'm
and
getting too old for this.
and Snoop Dogg famously, came out of that culture as well, right? So
Mhm.
that's the thing, is that it's like you can't ignore it. Like whether it be Bloods and Crips, Republicans and Democrats, there is this constant battle in our country, and uh, I'll touch on the symbolism of the flag a little more uh, later, but yeah, just keep that in note.
Mhm.
Squabble up, 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 squabble up.
No, 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 no! Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up!
as a hater talk. If I put your thing on myself as a face, if I took it to be the greatest talk. Right, joke, put a baby in the be humble. Sit down, be humble. Sit down, be humble. Sit down, be humble. Sit down, hold on.
All right. We got,
I got loyalty.
yeah, there, of course, he, like I said, there's that back and forth dialogue going between Kendrick, the artist, and Uncle Sam,
Mm-hmm.
and right, he tells them, like, hey, what are you doing? Right, he shows squabble up, and like, he's showing something that, oh, we're kind of supposed to keep to the side, all the disunity, all the violence.
Yeah, be
Um,
humble.
yeah,
Sit
yeah,
down.
like, hey, yeah, you're being
Yeah.
too loud, too reckless, too ghetto, right? We don't like that stuff in America. Like keep that black stuff over here. When you're in the Super Bowl, you're supposed to present this way, you know. And of
Yeah,
course,
that part I got, but
yeah, but and then of course in the song "Be Humble," right? Kendrick's not being humble, right? Right? Like he's like, no,
right.
sit down, be humble. Like this is the expected behavior, how we want the black man to comply, and then what happens though? Like he shows, no, I'm going to represent where I came from. Like you're gonna have to deal with me. Like you sit down, you be humble. Like this is the place where I came from,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not gonna like just go to the background because you wanna hide it and act like it's not a part of America. You're gonna have to deal with this. You're gonna have to be humble, and when this happens too, you notice the flag comes together, right? The red, white, and blue are together at this point, um,
Right.
showing when the culture stands at its ground, and that the culture is represented, unity is created.
For sure. Yeah, no, like I said, you can tell he put a lot of thought into how this show is gonna play out. Is there any symbolism behind the? Because he has the the X, the square, the circle, and the triangle, like the PlayStation buttons, right?
Right, yeah, good. um good on you for mentioning that. I didn't point that out. Right. So yeah, it's just like the PlayStation controller. So also in this theme, not only of course touching on historical aspects, cultural divides, the comparison. And I looked up the line, by the way. It was from the song "Hood Politics." So
Okay.
Kendrick, he says Democrips and Rebloodicans, right? So
Oh,
so you have right, the Democrats being the Crips and the
right.
Republicans as the Bloods there. And yeah, with the PlayStation controller, like, so there's a lot of things there. Like, one, Kendrick was born in 1987, right? I'm an 88 baby. We grew up in the age where video games were just a huge part of growing up at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
the PlayStation controller is something that all kids in our generation can kind of relate to, even if you didn't play video games. It's something very easily identifiable to uh, any child that grew up in America at the time Kendrick did, right? And
Yeah,
then
if you didn't have a system, you're going to your friend's house to play.
yeah, exactly. And and there's going to be different things that play out with this video game, like, and right, Uncle Sam mentioned early, right, do you know how to play the game? So it's like,
Hmm.
so it's this thing where it's like, it's treated almost like a video game, like, oh, like, we're just gonna do these political moves, and we're gonna expect people to behave like this, to say these things, and yet, but it's not a game. This is our real lives. So like, here you have Kendrick, like, in this video game, and he's knowing how to play the game, right? He has to learn how to play the game in order to beat the game, right? And
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see how that plays out between him and Uncle Sam. And another thing, if you're not that big on Kendrick, Uncle Sam was one of the main villains in the album Damn. So this is actually a
Okay.
recurring character in his artwork.
Uh-huh. That does slightly ring a bell, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I vaguely remember that album, but like I said, I didn't pay much attention to him back then, especially. But yeah, my bad. I'll let you get back to it.
Oh no. Feel free to jump in anytime. Like we're like some people may be like, oh, like come on, just play the thing. But if you want to watch it without us talking, then go watch the video for yourself. We're doing the commentary right now, right?
I suppose, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you can see the
we're
title on the bottom of the screen right there. Anyway,
yeah
look
we're
that
here to
up on
talk
YouTube.
about it. All right.
Inside my DNA, cocaine quarter pump with the war and peace. Inside my DNA, that's power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. That's hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. Was born like this, perform like this. Y'all shoot what new weapon, transform like this. Wish y'all shoot what new weapon. That's murder, conviction, murders, boosters, burglars, ballers, dead. Skylar fathers dead, with kids in hours. Hold on. Yeah, I'm out the way, yeah, I'm low, okay. I'm right here remote, okay. Thinking I'm right on Reaper. I'm Reaper, but I soul, okay. Cause your man had the drinks it all in my house. Like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, made his own place and go take something so okay. Everybody wanna be demon, get chipped by your throwaway. And I might do a show today. Always a lame, who you thought the money, the problem will make you. Have you ever played? Have you ever? Okay, let's play. Have you ever walked your enemy down with a poker face? Man, I know y'all proceed. Since Parma Lee, it's KDOT. Boom!
Yeah.
So yeah, DNA is one of the songs that I have downloaded and have on one of my playlists.
Mhm.
I had never heard the second song they just finished right now though.
Yeah, that was Euphoria. It was one of the diss tracks with the Drake battle.
Okay. I didn't even know that they were battling. I found out that there's a beef between them when he did the "They Not Like Us" song. So
Yeah, and the DNA one here is important too, because like right, it's just an add on to the fact coming after Humble, right? DNA, like hey, like like, he tells you like this ambition, this violence, all these things, like hey, it is in my DNA, and
Mhm.
and as he's going through this, right, also the flag is marching down with him, and it's like so really showing like uh it's all of our DNA, right? This is the American DNA, like right, the ambition, violence, all these things that all these themes that he's displaying in this song. This is the DNA of America.
Mhm.
So he's talking about him personally, but then of course his community. He shows his community here. Like I don't know if you familiar, like living in LA, like you'll see these guys crumping. Was a big movement. It got a lot of people actually out of that gang violence to like, okay, here's a way that we can express ourselves, express what's happening in the community, and it was a very important movement as far as like yeah, like we have this violence in our DNA. We're in these neighborhoods that are have these problems, but then we're expressing ourselves and getting free out of that, and like now here Kendrick is bringing people from his community on the big stage like this, getting them an opportunity to further themselves, and and again, right, showing that kind of rags to riches of pulling the culture up and showing what our DNA is and what we can amount to.
Yeah, I do not know LA very well. Last time I went to LA was to visit you when you were down in Santa Barbara.
Well,
For
I wasn't living in LA at that time. Santa Barbara is a little north of LA.
no, but I went to LA thinking that's where you were, and when I got out of the train station, yeah, the train station,
Yeah,
and I called
that's
you,
right.
and I realized that I had to go back up to Santa Barbara to meet up with you. Well, I went outside for that, and I was just surrounded by tall buildings, and I'm like, oh no, this is too big for me. I don't like it. I feel too small out here.
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
I moved back. I was in LA, and then I moved to that little that beach house there in Santa Barbara.
yeah,
Uh,
that was
nice.
fun.
Yeah,
That was a cool spot. And Santa Barbara is not like it feels like a tiny town, like a little pocket, uh, like a secluded area inside of a much bigger metropolitan area. It's
yeah,
got a different vibe to it.
yeah. And it's unique because that's where I grew up. I moved to LA later. I
Mhm.
grew up in Santa Barbara, and it has that kind of. It's known for being like a place of healing, and
I can
yeah,
see that.
yeah. So that's
So I use it as a
my friend.
place to party, but yeah, sure.
Well, we were doing a lot of that too because my friends and I
Oh,
got that.
I remember half that weekend, but
Yeah.
but
And yeah, and that's and then you have like going back to like with Crumpin, right? Yeah,
yeah,
of course there's a lot of partying, there's a lot, but and that's like the beauty of this beautiful messy life that we live, right? There is
sure.
there is the problems, the stress, the anxiety, the violence, but then there's also that ambition, that relentlessness, that courage, that overcoming, and you'll see a lot of that in this piece, right? Of that battle between like, okay, here's these problems that we deal with in America, and here's also how we overcome, like uh like here's the history of that, like, yeah, we started as slaves in this nation, but then also look where we are, from Kendrick's community to him bringing him and his people there on the world stage in the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
I deserve it all. Keep these bums away from me. Keep my essence contagious, that's okay with me. Burn this thing down, don't you play with me, stay with me. Crashing out right now, it ain't safe for me. Did it with integrity. These boys try to hate on me, just wait and see. More blood be spilling, it's just pain to me. Dangerously, ain't no changing me, ain't no shaming me. Flip a coin, you want the dangerous me or the famous me? How annoying. From the boys in the game, I speak. Ashamed of me, it's important, I deserve it all because it's mine. Why you think you deserve the greatest of all time?
I love too how, and everyone too, all these song pieces, he also go into like how this isn't gonna be your ordinary shit. This isn't just gonna be your pop adjacent, like, oh, I'm gonna play this to appease the people and make them happy. It's like, no, I'm
Right.
just like, he had that right before Man at the Garden, where they have the little doo-wop, breaking it down
Mm.
to like, they're just like, that's like, like when the homies just get on the corner and like, you're beatboxing, or like, or you got a guy just like singing a cappella, like
Yeah, I got that
it's like
vibe.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just like the homies on a corner all together, right? And before that he had the Drake diss, Euphoria, where he's giving oh man, I lost my train of thought. What was I what was I saying on that? Yeah, you want to interject for a moment?
Oh, I mean, you're talking about it being like all the homies on the corner beatboxing and whatnot. I don't know where you're going with that, but um Yeah, that was the vibe that I got. And that doesn't have to be beatboxing. It also reminds me of back to Santa Barbara. Uh, one morning while we were out there, still kind of in a daze from the night before. We're hanging out in these people's front yard, this guy's front yard, and they're playing music. A few people had some instruments out, just playing music out front. And I remember tourists driving by and like taking pictures of us while we were just chilling there. That was kind of goofy, but yeah, just the idea of a group of friends just hanging out and vibing together kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna get back to that, but I was gonna say because Euphoria came right before that, so let me know on that one, right? In that song, right? He tells Drake, right, like you make music just to pacify them. I make music to electrify them, and
Hmm.
people get have confused that as like, oh, like what do you mean? Like Kendrick's here, like trying to like teach us. He's like, like that's boring. Like we just want the music that we could like dance around to, and this is specifically not that, right? Because it's like you know that music for the masses kind of thing. It's like yeah, it's just to pacify people.
Hmm.
Americans have gotten used to like this consumerism to where everything's just watered down. It's like and we're spoon fed to like here like just listen to this and be happy. Don't really worry about the real issues. Don't worry about all these things, all these problems. We're gonna just have you guys fight about it, right? Like squabble, going back to squabble up, right? We're gonna have the disunity. We're gonna have you guys at each other, right? Black on black crime, white on white crime, whatever. We just want you guys at each other's throat. Um, and but then here he's giving euphoria, right? Where he's giving music to electrify them, right? And like
Hmm.
when neurons, right? When you're electrified, right? When your neurons light up, like you know, the famous doctor and poet Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, like, right, a mind stretched to a new idea can never return to its original dimension, right? And that's and this is actually a scientific um, study that shows this that like right your neurons light up and that's how, when you're making connections with your synapses. And so he's electrifying us that way. He's causing people to think deeper on these things. He wants you to think about the art. He wants you to reflect about the themes, the messages, rather than just like, oh, this is a fun song. Like, yeah, oh, like he's not playing like the big hits really, where like, oh, we can all sing along to this, right? It's
Right.
not it's not the big X-ray. uh, like
And
yeah, go ahead.
would you consider Kendrick Lamar like a political rapper? I know they don't really use that term very much anymore. Um, but like with a lot of his ideas and being outspoken about him the way he is, uh, the the political rappers like that I remember growing up, they were pretty much underground. You wouldn't hear them in mainstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Back to what was it? Right, right, right time, but the wrong guy, or whatever. Just
mhm,
like the right time for this kind of music to get big, because
right.
he might not have been recognized 15, 20 years ago doing the same kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And because but now it's the right time for that, right? Like, yeah,
Hmm.
like my music was really metaphorical like that too. Like I've had songs where and it disheartened me where like I put my heart and soul into a song, and like I remember I had my brother come up like one time like, hey, bro, I really love your music, and I like this song, but sometimes I don't really understand what you're saying, but and Kendrick is that kind of artist, right? Where there's these deeper levels, and
Hmm.
he's just done it to a much higher pedigree, of course. Uh,
And that can go back
and
to the whole pacifying music thing too, because a lot of music you just listen to and you're not expected to put a whole lot of thought into understanding what the artist is trying to say. At least with mainstream music. So
right, Yeah, it's usually very surface level, right? Just like what you see is what you get, which
Mhm.
is good for sales, but as far as artistry, right? It's not Shakespeare, right? Like
Yeah.
like I remember the first time I read Shakespeare, and he was talking like, it's but like to play what is like to play um do you play it like a violin, or did he say violin or cello? I can't remember the line, but he's comparing to like, well, let's call it a violin. He's talking about the playing of the violin, but he's talking
Mhm.
about like the woman also playing the man, right? And
Mhm.
and and using people in that manipulative way, like, and there's all those double entendres and word plays, but then also there's some things that are just like, but here's the raw feeling, and all that is weaving together in Shakespeare, and
Mhm.
you see that type of display of artistry in Kendrick's work, um, and yeah, so it literally electrifies you. It doesn't electrify you like, like the big EDM artists of right now that's just flashing lights in your face so that you're not
Right.
really thinking. You're just like, oh wow, that's cool. But it's electrifying you, and it's actually getting you to think consciously, and getting you to elevate your understanding.
Definitely.
And then and then going to the little doo-wop here of Man on the Garden, right? Everything's stripped away. It's just, the guy's on the corner, the community, and again, this community aspect is a theme that keeps it's a motif throughout this whole piece, this whole art
Mhm.
piece that he's created, where okay, now he's getting the whole crew together, and you're gonna see what Uncle Sam says to him about that.
Right.
See you brought your homeboys with you. The old culture cheat code. See you brought your homeboys with
Speaking of video
you. The
games,
old culture cheat code.
cheat
Scorekeeper,
code.
deduct one life.
Exactly. Cheat code. Again, referencing the video games.
And now they're in the X, right?
Yeah. And exactly, and they're in the X. And that's an important thing. Right, cuz like, what does that X refer to? Why do they go to that? Why does it purposely have the right, cuz Kendrick chose these like, what would they display when they would let the focus just be on him. Like a lot of this, the focus, right? It's a very like a rapper's rapper type of performance where there's no hype men, right? There's no ad libs, there's no backing vocals. A lot of times,
Mhm.
like in order to, if you want to just like get the crowd pumped and have them be like, oh, like, this thing, you have those background vocals, and then you're singing with them. So then those double overs make the sound like more impactful on those areas. But he's just doing all with breath control, running around the field, and just rapping, and even changing the lyrics at some places to for some edits, and making the changes on the go with that, and
Mhm.
really just having it focus on him, right? And then there's certain just points where they let the audience sound come in, and then like right here, Samuel L. Jackson says, "Take one life," because like that cheat code. What's the cheat code? He's saying, like, oh, you brought your homies with you. Take one life, and Uncle Sam says this. So again, it's going back to the historical motif, right? Of okay, like what happens when black people try to organize? Like if you look at Black Wall Street being taken down, if you look at the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr. being assassinated,
Well,
Malcolm X.
even
Right.
after slavery was abolished, we're just going over this in my history class. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
36 years old, still going to college. But yeah, history class, we're just going over when slavery just got abolished, and black people were allowed to farm for themselves, and they realized that they were kind of getting screwed over still, so they tried to work together, and basically create their own union, and the ex-slave owners weren't happy about that and broke it up with violence. So I mean, there's that too. So it's something that's been going on since beginning of American history.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because you'll see it happen with other with other ethnicities when they come, like, like the Italians. They came here. They were treated really poorly. They banded together, created something. Same thing with the Irish. They were treated like crap when they came here. Banded together, created beautiful things. And then, but then when the Black community does that, like, they strip it apart. Like, okay, Black community is creating these things. Oh no, we need Jim Crow laws. Let's keep them over here, right? Like I said, Black Wall Street. Let's keep them over here. Oh, you're getting together. You're getting together. You're organizing with your community. Deduct one life, right? How many times have we seen? Have we seen like an important, whether it be an important figure like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., or some people think that it being with the X could refer to, with coming off this whole Drake beef, XXX Tentacion, right? He was a really influential figure for the culture, and
it was also a way to sign your name back when they didn't know how to write in cursive and whatnot.
Yeah,
just put an X.
And also, if you look too, like a lot of the, if you look at a lot of the lynchings, like sometimes there would just be an X because they didn't even have the name have the name for them. It was like, oh, like this person was lynched, so and so, and there are people who recorded it, and it was documented. There's a book I recently read called "The Trees" by Percival. It was nominated for Golden Globe, I think, or not Golden Globe, Nobel Prize.
It's a lot better than Golden Globe.
Yeah, and and he mentioned, like, there's one person in that book who had like documented the lynchings, right, and some of them just had the X because they were they didn't even have the person's name, like they kind of lost it. So it's like, that's like the unknown, right? The non-named people who die every time, the Black culture tries to get together and create something with organization. Like, oh, then we lose we lose a loved one. We lose, those unnamed, those unsung heroes, or we lose someone like a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. X off the planet, lose one life, right? And video game, right? You lose one life. But Kendrick's using cheat codes here, so let's see how he plays the game. I had found a thing online too. Someone had noticed that the cheat code that he puts up when it goes up above was the cheat code in Grand Theft Auto to give you full armor and full health. I think I saw that on Curtis King's channel. So,
when it showed when it showed the X, the triangle, and the square and circle at the beginning, all flashing.
Yeah. When they're showing the flashing.
I mean, there's like R2 and R1 and L2, L1, and lefts and rights and ups and downs and stuff too. But
yeah, but apparently it's supposed to be the Grand Theft Auto cheat code for full health and full armor. So Kendrick's about to go hard here. but first we lose one life, right, to Uncle Sam.
What? Look. I just put the boogers in my chain. Peekaboo. 80 pointers like a Kobe game. Peekaboo. 7-6 tools to make them clean. Peekaboo. I'm popping out your band, that's not my name. Peekaboo. I put you foreign ones on a 4-5. Pickable. That's Kachi Pepper if I'm doing pasta. Pickable. Why you acting tough on IG Live? Pickable. You know my loved ones with that. Let's get it. Surprise, it's your boy Jackie G. I FaceTime my eye, yeah, I'm up the street. It says easy, I put the boys to sleep. He on the ground, praise God, and stomping feet. Ladies, I want to make a move. I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love the sue. What song? Yeah, that song. Maybe I think about it. Oh, no. Know what? I slow it down. Say, ladies, do me this song.
Oh, you done lost your damn mind.
This world concrete flowers grow, always slowly through.
Out. Slow. Stop.
Everything. On my soul.
All right. So while it's loading there, any other comments on the commercial
That was,
break?
that was the first hint at the song They Not Like Us playing.
Yeah. The first little cue, and how fun is that, right? Because of course that's the song that won all the Grammys.
Mhm.
So he's gonna tease that. That was a really smart, fun way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, here you have Peekaboo, right? He kind of like dodges under there. He's running around and then pops out to play Peekaboo with us. Little playful little playful thing there. There's
Mhm.
my wife being playful in the background here. It's all synchronicities. She said Peekaboo. Um, that's how things play
Hey,
out.
Angel.
Steven says hi,
Oh.
Bay. she said peekaboo hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now they're on the triangle, right?
Right, yeah. And now they're in the triangle. Triangle. So notice, right, Uncle Sam keep telling him to right, play the game right. He's like, you must have lost your mind, and they go into here now. So keep note of that, right? He plays these more uh more songs that people can you know they're not as they're, they're not as brash, let's say. They're not as confrontational. They're not, they're more melodic songs, right? Something that you might typically hear in a Super Bowl show, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's something more peaceful, right? And if when these ones come out, right, after Peekaboo, they lost a life. So you have, the people in white. Of course, you think of like the angels in white with like the white light glowing, and then of course white and the flag symbolizes purity and hope, right? It's the that white, it's like a peacefulness, right? um Whereas like the red is, of course, uh represents the times of war, right? Red is for the valor and courage of the country, but also of course the blood. And you see the red more in the forefront of the more like aggressive songs, or where there's the fighting. um
Mhm.
and then You'll see the blue come be at the forefront at the songs where it's more showing like the overcoming, right? Blue represents the vigilance of the country, but here,
Okay.
right? You have the white, and then the triangle, of course, right? So he's doing what he's doing what Uncle Sam said now here, because right, we lost a life. We're mourning these people who were kind of lost to this game, but in real
Mhm.
life, right? And he's like, okay, I'll do what you say now, because we're in mourning, and we go to the triangle. Of course, the triangle on the dollar, right? It's the all-seeing eye.
Right. A lot of
So
conspiracies about that one.
yeah, a lot of conspiracies about that triangle, right? So now we're in the triangle, and notice. So we go to the triangle when he's doing what Uncle Sam says to do.
hmm Well, onto the circle.
Onto the circle.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a morgue, bring a sword, but you can't bring the truth to me. Bumping you and all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations. I recognize your false confidence. Promises all in your conversation. I hate those that feel entitled. Look at me crazy cause I ain't invite you. Oh, you important, you the moral to the story, you endorsing. I don't even like you. Corrupt a man's heart with a gift. That's how you find out who you dealing with. A smart percentage who I'm building with. I want the credit if I'm losing or I'm winning on my mama.
Maybe the
Solana.
night that my dreams might let me know. All the thoughts of who's all the thoughts of who's all the thoughts of love. Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. The thoughts of love, all the thoughts of love, all the thoughts of love.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what America wants. Nice and calm. You're almost there. Don't mess this.
Oh no.
Went a few years back with that one.
Samuel L's so funny, man. But he so you mentioned, right, they go from the triangle doing what Uncle Sam wanted, then
Mhm.
but they go to the circle, right? Circle, regrouping, unity. You
Yeah,
notice
full circle.
everything coming to full circle, resurrection, right? The flag is becoming united again, right? The red, white, and blue are back together again. They're unifying once more. And
Mhm.
so meanwhile, that's like meanwhile, Uncle Sam thinks like, yeah, now they're doing what they're told. They're keeping it calm and relaxed, just giving America just what they want, just like some nice entertainment. And
Mhm.
he tells them not to mess it up, right? Don't go back to being reckless and ghetto. Don't go showing the culture that stuff that that America doesn't want to see.
Don't
Um,
tell Kendrick Lamar what not to do.
yeah. So we'll see how he responds to that, right?
It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the flow.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Then get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like.
Okay, wait. So yeah, so he tells you right here what it's about now. Like,
Mhm.
okay, he had that like don't mess it up, and he's like, no, there is a cultural divide. There's something spiritual happening, and either he's about to, of course, like you hear the music, he's about to go into Not Like Us, and either you're right. The revolution isn't televised, but here he's televising the revolution, and either
Right.
you're feeling it play out. Either you don't want to listen, like some people, or you're open to listening. Either like some people are there, they're in the culture. some people are, kind of opening their minds, opening their hearts up to like, all right, what is this message? And some people want to reject it, but the revolution is here, and he's telling you, right, there's a cultural divide, right, and he brings back again that historical motif, 40 acres and a meal, of course, when the slaves were freed, which also was brought up in the Drake beef. Right, you keep trying to rap like you're trying to free the slaves, right? So he makes a reference back to that slavery time when they were freed. We were promised 40 acres and a meal, and of course, like there's been reparations for the Japanese that were put in concentration camps. There's reparations for the Native Americans, but the black people never saw that 40 acres and a meal, and
Mhm.
he's just like, oh yeah, like you don't want me to get reckless and ghetto, like, no, we're talking about this.
What's that? Hold up. Beat, bro. Beat, bro. Back off. 3, 4, bang. Hold up. Eminem. Kill him, breathe. And the boys. Walk around like, what's up with these yo? Oh, see, you can hit me. Pump them all in it, mama. How many options have you got? I mean, too many options. Hit try to show the body of John Stockton. What? You choke and hit the body of John Stockton. You gotta pop out show. I'm not running up the store. What down the whole time I know he got some hoe. Ho, so put it up, bro. I hear you like young. You better not ever go to Bell Black One. The truck woman they in love. The stick to your hot and loose sister bubble. They tell me to the whole one to get your down. Don't get the pump playing with his nose down. What the better who case why is he around? 35, number 135. Oh, I'm gonna do stuff. Like you chilling like a you tired. Javier.
Oh, so good. So right there's what, like I tell you, they're able to do this with the audio, right? They have it just focus on the performance, on what Kendrick's saying, and then for that line, they wanted to bring it in, and they let you hear the whole crowd, and you have the whole crowd uh, shouting the A minor line,
Mhm.
and you know,
Is that what
it,
the necklace is for too?
it could be. It could be. Some people have got that interpretation. I'm not sure what the necklace is for, but yeah, it could be. It's lowercase a minor.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's like,
Sorry, I interrupted you, but
well, one thing is, yeah, it's just noting again, right? Everything is unified on this, right? Like,
Mhm.
if there's one solidarity, it's that, like, yeah, all red, white, and blue, we will all stand up to evil, like at the end of the right. So that's something to unify over. Of like, and historically, America has always been that courageous nation to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna stand for the good and be against the bad, and yeah, it's like, okay, Drake, you know, he takes the place as the enemy in this, but like, it's bigger than that, as he mentioned, right? This is much bigger than a game, right? It's much bigger than a rap battle. Uh, like, he's talking
Mhm.
about the 40 acres and a meal. Like, he's like, no, like we want the whole culture united, right? And again, drawing back, right, the red and blue, the Bloods and Crips, and now they're dancing together, right? He talked about that in the beef too, of like wanting to unite Los Angeles, unite his community, unite the West Coast, and here's the USA, red, white, and blue, being united.
Mhm.
They not like us.
No.
They not like us.
No.
They not like us.
What?
They not like us.
No.
If you didn't, also, the singer he brought out earlier, SZA, and also Serena Williams here,
Yeah.
are exes of Drake.
Okay, that I did not know that. Actually, I heard about Serena, but I've only heard of SZA here and there. And I keep every time I hear that name, I keep thinking back to Giza and RZA. Uh,
Yeah, she's got a little Wu Tang in her. I can
oh
see
yeah.
that. But yeah, Serena Williams, of course, one of the greatest women athletes of all time, and
Mhm.
also one of my earliest childhood crushes. So it was great to see her pop out for this.
That's awesome.
They not like us. No, they not like us. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way, step that way, then step this way, step that way. Hold on. I go by the name of K. Kendrick Lamar, OK Llama, Mr. Morale. This is Gen X. We come all the way from Compton, California to a party with y'all. Let me hear you say, they acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta turn his TV off, 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 turn his TV off. Ain't no other king in this rap thing, they siblings. Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. In the city with the flag, we get it thrown. Pass interference, padlock around the crash, pulling up in up my truck just to play freeze tag. Bone a pick like it was sea bass. When I made it out, I made about 50K from a show. I showed y'all the ropes before they hung from a rope. I'm prophetic. They talk about it, I did it. Good for saving fakes, I seen the cosmetics. Here's I gotta take to level my aesthetics. Hurry up.
I love that line. They talk about it. I did it.
Mhm.
And then here he is in the middle of the stage at the Super Bowl. And all the controllers lit up. So it's going all out here. And again, repping where he comes, repping Compton, repping his community. But it's bigger than that. No one. That's the beautiful thing about how Kendrick is that no one's bigger than the program, right? It's like, you know, uh, united we stand, divided we fall, right?
Mhm.
And
What about turning the TV off? What's that about?
yeah, his ops, people who are against the culture, people who are not like us, they might
Mhm.
as well turn the TV off because they're not
I
tuning
see.
into the revolution.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, the revolution shall not be televised because yeah, those who are here for it, they're tuning in. They're being electrified, right? They're growing. They're open to understanding, and
Mhm.
where the revolution is not televised, it's first in the mind. So if they don't want to hear it, or they can't hear it, and so therefore, like Drake, I heard he was in Australia during the performance. They might as well they might as well turn the TV off because they ain't in this one.
Okay. He went as far away as he possibly could then, huh?
That's for real,
He's
man.
like
Because
hiding out in the boonies somewhere.
if he was watching, man, he's man. Yes, turn this TV off. He was probably
Right.
like you got the whole Super Bowl crowd yelling A minor, like yeah. Most definitely Drake will want to turn his TV off, but yeah, anyone anyone who is not televised in the revolution, they're also
Mhm.
going to want to turn their TVs off.
All right.
Up, your muscle up, we up the higher metric. Ran up out of luck, soon as I up the highest metric. Super Bowl made a feat, you're diabetic. Mouth you full of deceit. Cowards telling, walking New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. They acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my on the but some gotta turn his TV off, 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 turn his.
The National Football League.
And
All
yeah,
right.
of course, at the end there, after he turns the TV off, right, the game controller goes off, and then it reads "Game Over." Uh, and if you're playing Mortal Kombat, I think it'd also be a fatality against Drake.
He's not gonna win that one.
Yeah,
And
that was his funeral right there.
you know, I heard the occasional critique against this halftime show for the Super Bowl. But that's probably my favorite of all the Super Bowl halftime shows that I've seen. It's probably my favorite one. May not be as memorable as Justin Timberlake and
Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson in the wardrobe malfunction. But I remember
Sure.
for that one I had a friend. He went to the kitchen to grab some food. We were watching it in my house, and we had a bunch of friends over. My dad had a projector playing onto one of his walls. We had measured the screen. It was like 131 inches that we had. We were watching the game on.
Yeah.
And had the surround sound going and all that. And yeah, for halftime, my friend went to go grab some food in the kitchen. That's when the whole nip slip happened, and we all saw it and started screaming and stuff. My friend comes running back in, and he's like, "What I missed?" And we told him. He was so mad.
Yeah. Yeah. That was also my favorite halftime performance. And you're right. No man forgets the nip slip.
Wardrobe malfunction.
The wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. She
As
just
they-
happened to have a nipple cap on. Yeah. She just wears those. Just that's part of how she accessorizes every day.
Yeah. I'm not even going into that. Oh man, Lord help us.
yeah, yeah. We got a little off topic there. Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm here for it. I, I'm here. I'm here for the revolution. I'm here for the breasts. I'm here for all of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think most of us could agree on that. Yeah, for sure. Um, uh, yeah, boobs are very important. Anyways,
And
my
Eagles.
Eagles, yeah. No, that was actually very educational. Um, Actually, my dad was asking me questions throughout the halftime show because he doesn't know anything about rap and just assumed that I had all the answers because I listened to it and I was like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know. I can tell you a couple things, but I don't know. I don't have the answers to all your questions. But now, when you post this, I could just be like, watch our podcast.
Yeah.
I'll answer everything and more for you.
And yeah, I mean, when I watched it on Super Bowl night, like the first time, I was just like enjoying it, like more so just enjoying the like, oh, like like he is rapping, like what I mean,
Mhm.
like as just
Yeah, he went all out for sure.
as just someone who likes that kind of style and like just his performance. I was just soaking it in, and then
Mhm.
like yeah, and then we talked on Tuesday or Wednesday that we would do a podcast on it.
Yeah.
And so like I was throughout the workday just kind of thinking about like random thoughts on it like here and there. and like oh yeah, like the more I thought about it, I was like, wow, he like really put a lot into that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to go that in depth on the halftime show. I knew we were going to talk about it, but I didn't know that it was going to turn into an hour and a half conversation about about exactly what each part of the halftime show symbolized. So yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
lot to think
I mean,
about.
I come from I come from that 'cause I lived in Los Angeles for a while.
Mhm.
It was just awesome to see my walk into New Orleans with the etiquette of LA, like just to see not only like where I live represented, but to see the culture represented in that way, and at
Mhm.
such a high level of art, it was beautiful to behold.
Well, of course, LA's represented. I mean, the two main cities that foreigners think of when they think of America is either New York or LA. I would think those would be the first two places. Then the people, of
Yeah.
course, the people they think of Texans. You imagine a
Well,
bunch of Texans in LA or New York.
well, they think of the two main things are probably like the cowboy hats and the
Yeah,
guns.
that's what
because
I'm saying.
because like Europeans are like, oh, you guys have guns there, like
Yeah.
like what is that like?
That's like when a non-Californian hears that I'm from California, they're like, I couldn't imagine dealing with all those earthquakes.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a tornado last year, woman? What are you talking about? Earthquakes. I sleep through earthquakes.
Well, living in different countries, when I can,
Mhm.
like, people are people everywhere, and they're familiar with what they're familiar with. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you know, if their place has earthquakes, they're just like, oh, okay, earthquakes, whatever. If their place has typhoons, and like,
Mhm.
if you're not from there, it's like what? There's typhoons, like, and everyone's just used to their own kind of crazy, because
Yeah.
every country has its good and bad things, and
Well, every
um,
hurricane season, I'm like, I couldn't imagine living in Florida.
yeah, yeah,
But plenty of
I
people
mean,
do.
from on the country level though, like, you know, like, you know, when I was, because you know my wife's from the Philippines, and like they'd see things that happen here in America, and they're like, they think that like we're like crazy. You know, they're like, what is wrong with you over there? You guys are like a bunch of chaotic atheists or something. And I was like, no, we have Christians there too. It's just, yeah, our country is a mess, but like, that's the thing. It's like, but when it's like it's your mess, when it's your crazy, like, it's like, yeah, no, like, you know, that's my crazy cousin, that's my crazy uncle, like,
Right.
but like, yeah, no, like, he's always been like he's cool though, because you're just used to your own crazy, you know,
For sure.
and people, and when people look at other countries, they're like, oh, I can never, you know, live there, like they do this and that there, and it's like, you know, you got crazy things in your own backyard, you're just more comfortable with them because you grew up with them.
Right. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, all this because brought up what foreigners thought of us and LA being a part of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, then it's like, or if you say you're from California, and they're like, oh, what movie stars do you know? None of them. No,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not from that part of California. What do you mean you're not from that part? There's
yeah.
40 million people here. I don't know them all. All right.
Let me just get my pinky out here. You know, I just hang out with them on their yacht like all the time.
Right. But yeah. Um, yeah, just funny to think about. Yeah. So even here in within the United States, we have these different stereotypes for different areas and stuff like that. It's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got the surfer bros over here in Cali. You got the Valley girls. You know, yeah, you got the cowboys. You
Yeah.
got the
This
Hicks.
is your first time living in Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
How are you liking it out there?
Yeah, so far so good. You know, like I said, I'm a Southern Cali boy, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Not anymore. You'll
I've
be
always
saying hella in no time.
well, I've always hella loved NorCal, you know, but actually when we were in college, I went through my hella phase, I think. So hopefully I got
That's
it out
right.
of my
Yeah.
system then.
Yeah. See, here in the Central Valley, yeah, towns like Fresno or that's going to the city. If you're here in the Central Valley, Fresno's big, Sacramento's really big.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then LA is like we just try to pretend like that's not there. That's like that's a whole different world. We don't we don't mess with that.
y'all crazy, man. But yeah, for me, like this is a good year, man. My
Mhm.
favorite, my team that I've been repping since I was a little one. You know, when I wasn't ain't but nay high, I've been an Eagles fan. You know, my uncle went to high school at Randall Cunningham. You know, like
Oh man.
everybody in my family, like my uncle, my auntie, like my nana was a big Eagles fan. You know, rest in peace. I know, and the thing is too, my nana uh, was from New Orleans, right? So I was like, ain't no way we gonna lose in New Orleans. Nana's gonna smile down on us, and we is we's got this, man. Like it was like all everything was aligned. So I'm loving 2025. You know, my babies are doing good. The wife's doing good. My team won the Super Bowl. One of the greatest hip hop artists to do it, like represented the culture on the world stage. It's a
Mhm.
it's a beautiful year, man. It's a beautiful year to be alive. I love 2025.
It's only February, so got a lot more year left.
Oh, sure, but I'm gonna ride on this high. You know, even if it all crashes out,
Yeah.
we're still Super Bowl champs. So I'm just gonna keep flying away, man.
Trump runs us into the ground. Yeah, but the Eagles though.
Exactly. I don't care what Trump's doing. We're Super Bowl champs.
Remember?
Man. But yeah, you know, I always whoever the president is, I always hope that they do a good job.
Of course.
Yeah, I love our beautiful, messy, crazy country that we live in, for all of its faults, all of its sins, and all of its glories, all of the overcoming. You know, Kendrick showed the overcoming, right? He showed the gang violence. He showed how that had overcome. You know, we're promised 40 acres and a meal, but despite not receiving anything, the black people have overcome. And
I don't think you guys are gonna get 40 acres and a mule.
but
That would be
even if we don't, we gonna overcome. We gonna be all right. He could have played that one too. We gonna be
right.
all right.
That'd be a good way to finish. Yeah.
But he had to end it with turn the TV off for this one, because
right.
you know,
No, I
the
thought he did a
revolution
great
shall
job.
not be televised.
That was a fun show for sure. All right, so guess we'll be doing this again here soon.
All right, you got it, man.
All right. Well, it's been fun. Steven and a Fire podcast. Check us out. Look us up. And I think that'll about do it. See you next time.
Bada bing, bada bang.